He's blocking feedback. That's his goals.
Yeah.
That's his MO. To project anything, throw anything out there that you'll fight, that changes the topic. Oh, Debbie's getting it. Yeah.
I got it.
So today I had to build this up. That counterdependence versus codependence. So codependence is seeking out needs, seeking out comfort, seeking out supply, seeking out addictions. And when that doesn't work, there's this dissociation where you detach from disturbing emotions. So the goal of codependence is to try to get distance or comfort from negative emotions. It's a goal-oriented type perspective. Counterdependence, we're framing, that's part of my thread that I was arguing, we're framing it from a codependent framework. But it's counterdependence. Counterdependence just tries to block reality. I'm projecting my story. She's saying, you need to understand. The kids need to realize. Everyone needs to get my story because I'm blocking feedback. The argument is not to give them agency. Realize that they're just blocking reality. That's the only goal they have. They're not trying to harm you. They're just covering their ass, but they're just blocking they're blocking everything. Her block is they need to understand.
I just want them to understand. I just want them to understand.
Do you want to win this argument?
No, I don't. I just want them to realize that there's two sides of the story, and I'm not to be blamed for everything.
Or nor anything.
But I started with a twisting of language. And
Mother,
this
is that
an
you?
Example.
So you do want to win the argument. You want to be vindicated.
I do not.
Yes. No.
I just want them to understand.
Do you have any concern, any empathy, any sensitivity to the fact that these two girls
Right
are
in front of her.
hurting terribly
Both
in their
daughters.
relationship with you? Because you haven't acknowledged it at all. What part of this do you own?
It's obvious that they think I screwed up. And, well, I mean,
They think.
oh, I'm telling you, you just don't.
What do you think you screwed up?
It's like I can
Why is he
never,
wasting his
never,
time?
ever have I been able to do anything
You're
that
defending
they thought was
yourself.
right. I know,
You're
but
defending
what?
yourself again.
I've never done anything right. I'm a victim. So
No,
it's a
get
victim
down off the
plea.
cross,
Do
honey.
you
We
care
need
at
the
all
wood.
about their feelings?
Oh, I sure do.
Because all you're talking about are yours. Me.
I
I
sure
don't
do.
aim for it to be that way. I really don't.
But you're playing the victim here with these two girls who have said, I want some help. They want to try to heal this relationship, and all you're saying is, you're wrong. I was victimized. You don't remember right. You don't get it. You don't understand. You should feel sorry for me.
I want them to have an understanding
I'm
of
watching a documentary of my childhood.
Yeah.
That's a stonewalling. I want them to understand. I want them to realize. That's code to say I want them to accept my projection. I'm projecting a reality.
But even if
They just need to get it.
hypothetically, if you just took on board everything that this lunatic, this person with a bad Elizabeth Taylor hairdo actually wanted, it still wouldn't be enough.
Right.
Yes.
They just
'Cause
find
it's
something
why I
else.
did the things I did.
Cover
Do
story.
you have
And that
any
I didn't-
remorse?
Now, this was a great example of BPD remorse. So BPD is sorry that the other person feels bad, but that's it. There's no link of ownership because it's a blind spot. They're not seeing you. They're not seeing the other.
That's my
I
mother.
have remorse that
is
they
exactly
feel
what she's
this
like.
way.
I have remorse that they feel this way.
I have remorse that they feel this way, but I don't.
Do you have any remorse for what you did or didn't do?
I didn't do anything on purpose.
I didn't do anything on purpose. This is common with borderlines. It just happened. It just happened. It just happened. I can't help it. Borderlines all say that sort of like that narrative.
Yeah, it's passive until you press hard enough, and then it becomes your fault somehow. Eventually.
That's the twist. You corner them, then they're going to blame you. Cognitive distortion. Now you're defending. You're screwed because you somehow triggered an emotion which caused them to blame you, blah, blah, blah. Who knows?
I want you to know I did not do
It still
anything
hurts
on
if you do it on
purpose.
purpose or not, Mom.
See, that's good, the daughter's saying. Still hurts. Doesn't matter if it's on purpose or has agency. But Mom's goal is to block reality. My goal is to block feedback. So she will still block this.
All you thought about was yourself.
I had all kinds of counseling, and people kept telling me that
Do you
they
want
did.
I had
I had all
counseling. That's a
kinds of
pivot.
counseling.
Not me. Counselor told me something or something. So that's a redirect. Twisted language. Beautiful.
relationship with him
Oh,
going
very
forward?
much so. I believe it's going to turn around.
So
I mean,
right, but you're going to.
I believe it's going to turn around. What's your evidence?
As long as you do exactly what I tell you to do.
As soon as they excuse me for being an ass.
Yeah, as soon as they listen to me.
As long as
and
they
then listen
understand
again.
and realize that I'm not doing it on purpose and I want to make it better, they're going to somehow get in line. That's the
As soon as they
projection.
prop up my ego and tell me what a wonderful person I am.
As soon as they start
that's
reading
not,
my mind.
it's not going to be that simple with a borderline.
Have to accept
You
responsibility
have to be
for
there
all
to
the things you
accept
did.
all the
You
blame all
cannot
the
tell
time
me.
for everything.
Yes. It's not
And it
only just
continues.
telling them
It's
compliments.
never ending, too.
They're not
So
a
once
narcissist. You can tell
Yeah,
a
once you-
narcissist supply all the time. A borderline wants you to be the blame target.
Yeah, and once you accept one blame,
Everything.
then it'll be something else, and then something else, and then something else, because it's a constant.
All their shadow gets dumped on you because they merge with you.
You did not take my homecoming dress.
So now she escalates with a specific memory. Daughter claims that she stole or hid the homecoming dress, probably because the mother didn't want to be left alone. Imagine a mother. I don't want my daughter to have fun. I don't want her to leave me. I will lock.
Oh, I don't have to imagine anything, Dee. I lived it.
So
That
calls
sounds
out
like a
the mother.
narcissist. That sounds like a narcissist.
Why so?
Yeah, they're narcissistic.
Which part? Locking the homecoming or just arguing back?
You know, well, I don't know. I guess I'm reading into it, the competitiveness, no, you can't be homecoming queen. Because I am.
Okay, we'll listen to her defense, see if she does that.
I really do not remember taking your
it.
dress.
Okay, I
Claims ignorance.
can believe that, because who wants to remember they did something so cruel to their daughter?
Daughter concedes, but then adds the judgment. How can you be so cruel to your daughter?
You have to understand that if I aimed to hurt you, I could understand how you'd hate me. But when you don't do something on purpose, it's hard to. You have to understand. You have to understand. You have to understand.
But what's really sad here? What's really sad is she is believing this as the words are tumbling out of her mouth. That's what's absolutely devastating here,
Well,
because they're on
she
different
dissociated.
planets.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But this is all defense mechanism. That the mother, and this is what my mother's saying. They have to convince themselves these things are true in order to maintain their
Positive
cohesiveness.
ego spin.
Positive ego, yes.
Cognitive
So, I mean, isn't this a
distortions.
dissociate? Yeah, the cognitive distortion and the dissociation. I mean, because Sam says they don't remember. They have amnesia
don't.
states.
They don't remember
They have
because
no
they have
clue.
no self.
Yes. Yeah, they have no self to carry it.
This is all being done on the fly. This is all just real time.
They just have emotions and they make up shit that matches their emotions.
Yeah, whatever's going to get her out of this mess, she'll say.
Yeah, I feel this way because of this.
So block
not the other way
reality.
around.
I will block feedback. I will block reality because that's the goal of counter.
Well, she's not even in. Oh, she's not even in reality. I mean, was she even? She just.
Well, what's so
That's
disturbing
the
is that the
projection.
mother's very smart. The mother's very intelligent. It's not an issue of intelligence. It's this emotional dysregulation. She can't. Those daughters could sit there forever, or as Holly likes to say, till the cows come home. And it's not going to make any
Debbie,
difference.
that's Debbie's line. Yeah.
Debbie's cows come home. I love that story from a couple of weeks ago. It's fabulous. You're telling off the lawyer. But yeah, I've been in those conversations. You're wasting your time.
Yeah, it just has nothing to do with reality, and they're
projecting.
you can almost see, like, in their eyes, you can see a disconnect. They're terrified of being somehow caught up in the reality in front of them, and they just have to stay out of it no matter what.
But that's moving at a cracking pace. I mean, she's doing that. The amount of mental heavy lifting that she's doing to keep that moving in the moment in front of Dr. Phil at her to door. That's quite a feat of mental gymnastics.
No,
She's smart.
it's all impulsive.
And yet it's all the average BPD.
It's all impulses.
That's all. Okay.
This is a slower model to show you how impulsive it is. It's not intelligence, it's just speed, it's impulses.
So my partner might then let on that I've really peed him off and he's not taking it. Then my fear of abandonment comes in, that he's going to leave me. So rather than just say, I'm sorry I said all those hurtful things, I twist it round.
She knows after the fact she could apologize, but the impulse is to twist it around because she's projecting. That's what she's good at. That's how she blocks. That's the default defense. Blocking feedback, blocking reality.
Twist it round.
Tongue jut. She gets maybe a dopamine high or some endorphin high when she gets away with stuff. It's 4-year-old baby fun. They get a kick out of sparring about reality.
And try to make out, well, I only did this because you, and whatever, and I twist it all.
They just start, I only did it because of you, and then they come up with anything. It's your fault, then they come up with anything. They know they've been doing this their whole life. They don't need to pre-think an excuse. They say, it's your fault, they feel the emotion, and they say somehow, because this causes this and that. It's on the fly.
All around. So in my head, he then thought, oh, I've really hurt her.
She's smiling when she says, oh, I got this idea. This story makes sense. As on the fly, she's enjoying it while she's telling herself, telling us, telling the video. She's reliving this movie in her head right now.
I won't leave. But obviously, at the time when it's happening, I'm not thinking, I'm going to push him away. Oh no, he's going to leave me. I'm going to manipulate him to come back. And then I'll push him away again. Then I'll manipulate him to come back again. That doesn't kind of go through your head. It just all happens.
Spontaneous. It just happens. No pre-planning, no purpose.
Yeah, but it's magical. It all happens as though it's, again, we're very distant from.
Yeah,
they're
no
acting
ownership.
out the emotion. It's just all pure spontaneous acting out, but the goal is to block reality, to project outwards.
Where I'm screaming, I'm going mad, and then I twist it all round, so he looks like the bad person. Like the bad person.
Happy.
I think in my head sometimes when I twisted it round, it's because I actually believed it was his fault and he had done something. So we'd be rowing about something and I'd twist it all round. So the whole argument became about something completely different. And I don't understand exactly
what happened,
why all the time I did it, but I did do it a lot.
A lot? All the time? I don't know why, I do it a lot.
Most arguments,
which is every argument, but most.
I was kind of so confused. My emotions and your emotions, obviously, they are so intense, and when they're happening and you're kind of in the middle of it, you're not thinking straight and you're saying hurtful things that you don't mean, but you really kind of believe you do because you're so hurt and you feel this person has hurt me so much, even though it's how we've perceived it. Not all the time. Sometimes they are in the bloody wrong.
See?
Wow, we got that close. We got that.
She's
No.
had DBT, she's aware, but she still can't fully own it because it's so terrifying to
Where's
let
the boyfriend?
reality in.
If you listen to her long
Where's the-
enough, I listened to this one. If you listen to her long enough, she does show some. Does show that she understands she's putting it off. It seems, like she in the moment as she's saying it, she's saying, "Well, you're wrong too." But then she does sort of own it. So
She
sort of
doesn't
all
know
over the-
why. She doesn't know why she does it.
True.
Borderlines
no
don't
fucking
know why.
clue.
There is
They
no
don't.
why. Stop
they don't.
projecting an agency on
They
somebody
don't
who's
know
doing
why.
it.
There is no
Well,
agency.
I know they don't care to know why.
No, there's no agency.
it's not.
There's no
this is
fucking
just who they
why.
are.
Okay.
This is just
is.
who they are, and this is my argument in one of the posts with Keith that I think the worst possible person for them is us, and I think
we
for us to
think that
expect,
we think there's something real there.
yeah, and we're just projecting onto them a normal person. Pardon, I haven't got any political for today. We're just projecting onto them a normal person, expecting them to love us, and I think this shows you how ridiculous we are. So we're actually abusing her by expecting her. How can you expect her to love you for longer than an hour?
Well, she does when she splits
But
positive.
man, that hour is awesome.
When you're all
And I was
good.
going to say, she's got the lips for it, right?
She licks her lips a lot. She's got a lips that are poorly cracked and, terribly
and a little
cracked.
crackle in the voice. Oh yeah,
She
she's a little
definitely
vixen,
has a
this
problem
one.
with licking her lips a lot. They're cracked. Like I remember our girl in high school had cracked lips like that all the time. But no,
When they idealize you
Shut
and you're
up.
perfect, codependents love that borderline love bombing because it's fully selfless. They merge with you and they only see everything good about you. But the downside is when they split and they see you're the devil. So then everything.
well, because
bad
it's their
about you.
cycle too. I mean, they have to, like, even if you were perfect, they'd still find something imperfect because that's their cycle. That's
That's
have to
their
do that.
counterbalance. That's why they're
Yep.
black and white. They can't stay in one or the other full time.
Yep.
And they give us just enough of the saccharine sweet to keep us in the game. And they masters it just enough.
And I remember the saccharine sweet making me scared as hell when I first got into this relationship that I did with my BPD. That I'm like, there's something fucked up and wrong here. But then she got pregnant.
When? No when.
And it was right on the heels of a failed relationship, and I wouldn't let myself
good.
fail another time.
See?
You got to
Listen
come
about
over to
her.
this side of the fence, mate. Seriously, you got to.
Kurt's projecting too. You're staying in because of your past relationship, not because of
Yeah.
seeing the person who you are. You're doing the same fuck up.
Oh, I did. Totally. I was unable to, and I the whole like 14, 15 years, I was just trying to view her as if she had some. I know. If
No,
she
I'm
had-
saying that's what you do. You spend all your time tamping.
yeah, tamping it down. Like there must be
Keep
something I'm
everything-
doing. I'm not seeing something. I'm not figuring. I'm doing something wrong. You know.
But don't feel too special because I just did this except with men. There are that many gay men I'm convinced, with borderline, probably because I'm projecting and just attracting that. But yeah, I mean, you try this in a male package, it's worse. So, they
Worse.
can't get pregnant. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big difference.
That's a bonus. I many times wish that I were gay, but I just can't flip that switch. Sorry.
No.
But watch
Yeah,
this
no.
part about DBT. So a borderline always has to, seems like they not only cheerlead, they always have to have this hope carrot. They can't embrace their despair fully, so they'll admit a little, then they'll say, I'm changing, I'm about to get better. There's always this hope link because despair is so intoxicating or scary.
They can sense, that's their sense that you've gone too far. They've gone too far. That's like the test. Like, can I get away? Is there more here that I can? No, it's this accelerated brake routine, I think.
Black, white, some sort of rhythm. Maybe it's their rhythm.
But yeah, I did it a lot. The good thing now
See, this is the hope, the good thing.
is because through DBT I learnt to manage my emotions better. Although the other day I was talking to my partner.
The other day, so at least a couple years of DBT, but the other day, this happened.
About something.
I was
and
talking
he said
to
I
my
was
partner. I was talking at my partner.
And I said,
Probably.
you're the exact reason there's such a stigma about BPD, because people like you saying we're manipulative. And he said, there you go, you're manipulating me.
There you go. You're manipulating me. That's your reaction right here.
We're manipulative. And he said, there you go, you're manipulating me. Interesting. Interesting.
That's some acknowledgement, but only half.
She smiles and acknowledges it after this, but yeah, it was pretty fucked
I
up.
think she's.
But I said, I'm not manipulating you, I'm merely telling you to do the right thing.
That's acknowledging it.
The laugh.
She's like, I need to up my game.
The laugh.
That's
She
what
laughed
she's
at
saying.
herself.
Yeah.
So
Look at the
anyway.
shit-eating grin. I love it.
So anyway.
Right here is when she shakes it off. This little head nod. This tick. So she's using Tourette's to shake off the admission.
So anyway.
That little jerk is what Dan was doing. I'll show that in a minute.
Yeah, it doesn't.
He
It doesn't
threw
sound
himself
great,
back
does
in the
it, that we
chair, and he did
manipulate?
that
But like
sort
I
of
said, I
jolt.
think it's the reasons we do it. We're so desperate. Like that fear someone is going to leave us is so huge.
Huge.
Only people with BPD can really understand it. That
People who live with
intense
BPD
fear.
can understand it eventually.
We go to any lengths to prevent that happening. That fear
don't you worry,
someone
honey, we
is going to
know.
leave us is so huge.
So huge. So huge. And you're giving no empathy to the people that felt hurt. Right there. To the people that felt hurt. See that? That jerk back? To the people that felt hurt. To the people that... You see that? Visceral. In reaction to saying that you're giving no empathy while you're saying you want to be on. Your behavior is cynical and judgmental. He can't take that. He viscerally. And you're giving no empathy to the people that felt hurt. To the people that felt hurt. To the people that felt hurt. To the... That's how much they want to block feedback. Block reality. He's merged, for Dan, he merged with Mark as the other. Mark was perfect and everybody else was the devil. So he is blocking any feedback where Mark wasn't perfect. And then feedback of him not being empathetic triggered a visceral body language. And you're giving no empathy to the people that felt hurt. To the people that felt hurt. To the people that felt hurt. His world fell apart right there, and they had to reconstitute it. Because their goal is to keep their projection alive. It's not about reality. It's not about what you're saying, your feelings, any feelings. It's to keep this projected narrative intact, to block any sort of feedback, to block reality.
So would you say in that moment he sort of rewinded and rewrote history in his mind so that he could make it okay?
In the head jerking, you think he has
Yeah.
that much speed to think up a new narrative? Well, he just
No.
it interrupted his projection for a moment. Then he dug in harder again.
Okay, so you got through to him. That's what the jerk was about?
Can I find it? I don't remember where it is.
I mean, because who would laugh
And then
about
he just
somebody
labeled
saying
himself I by challenging. He
But
didn't
he's
laugh.
storming.
He smiled and jerked back.
Well, I mean, there was an
And you're
implied.
giving no empathy to the people that felt hurt.
Defear is smiling and offering an out to Dan by smiling and making it a socially awkward but humorous moment. And Dan,
that smile can be also quite aggressive too.
oh yeah. No, I think it meant many things. I think he was going through a lot of different things, but his laughter was the discomfort that he felt.
Yes, it's laughter anxiety.
So we're getting this every day. We get these press conferences, and the premier, which is the equivalent of a governor, comes out and talks about COVID. She starts giggling. The more the numbers go up and the worse it gets, she breaks into little giggles, and so does the chief medical officer as it gets worse. So same thing. But Dan was really, like, those are the only reactions he had. If you look at everything else is just dead, except the jolt and the smile and the giggle.
Yeah. Let's see.
You're basically, what I did was I put a bloody great big spotlight on his false narrative, on his false self. That's all I did.
Right.
And
see, very muted.
I don't know, but I think, okay, Brad, if you imagine, you mentioned the spotlight. So
whatever.
Like if you were in an interrogation.
Now this is good. This is telling. This is what he feels like, and this is what a borderline feels like.
Interrogation, yeah.
Room, and half the people in that room would say there were 16 of us, say 8 of them were hostile interrogators.
8 were hostile interrogators. More than half of the room is hostile.
They're shining a light on you.
Yeah, I'm shit scared of all of you.
Now tell us about your flaws. I'm just like, it's not really going to happen, is it?
This is a total distortion of what happened to Mark.
Like
it's a total distortion of what's
Total
happening
distortion.
right now.
We didn't do that. Yeah, we didn't.
Because
We
that's
asked
his
him what
projection.
flaws-
That's his blocking of reality with
because he feels we're exposing
projection.
Yeah.
He feels
So
what?
He feels that we're exposing his flaws because supposedly we were just trying to expose the borderline's old flaws because he wasn't borderline anymore.
He's merging with Mark as a proxy.
Right.
Yeah, so he was showing what he felt as though he were Mark.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not Mark to do
So he
with
felt
bidding.
interrogated.
Mark is being the borderline.
He
Mark
saw
is being
Mark
the borderline
being
and Dan can't.
interrogated. He projected Mark himself into Mark.
Okay.
And he felt
Yeah,
Mark
it's
was
happening
being
to
spotlighted, and it's happening to him. So he's defending himself to us using Mark as a proxy.
Yeah, he couldn't recognize that this was what he was feeling himself. He couldn't recognize this was his shit. He put it over there on Mark and then told the story, but it was really just all inside of him.
Projection.
Yeah, so he's
outward.
So if you look at what really happened and what he said happened, are two different things.
But
Mark was not grilled. Mark was not.
Is trying to block reality, so he doesn't care about anybody else's reality. His counter-dependent strategy is to block everybody else's feedback. We even get to it, I think, in the middle, pointed out somehow.
Is the blocking of... Sorry.
I don't know, but it's you're expecting people to be authentic at the same time you're poking them. And I mean, people here
do not poke people. That's the implied message.
are I said this to you earlier.
We're doing it to you, Dan. We're doing that to you, Dan.
We're authentic, but just, just a very shallow level.
Now that's a judgment on the group.
Yeah, really. What
I'm
the
not-
fuck?
He's practiced this before.
Talking about how enmeshed.
See, now that's a pivot.
Well, yeah.
That's a
I mean, we've all
pivot to
been
attack the accuser. That's almost a little Darbo-like. So now I call him out. Now watch, he's got this. What's this mean? Oh! How do I respond to this? Wasn't seeing that coming. Oh, there's some sadness in his eyes. He's a little caught right here. He wasn't expecting my response.
I know, but he's
Yeah.
always held him. He's
don't know
always held
Darbo?
himself out from the group.
You deny, you
Deny
attack,
and
you
reverse
Victim,
victim
offender. Oh, he's thinking.
offender. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So
So us as a group, Brenda, Kurt, Brad, Debbie shared us feeling like victims. Oh, this is when he gets the jerk. So Hala, you wanted context, I think. Being offended by Mark. And
Is
now
it-
the narrative is that we aren't genuine enough, so now we're being attacked
maybe
as a victim.
It's our fault.
this group,
It's our fault.
Deef uses this,
Deef
this,
does it.
you know,
Deef
elevate,
does this. It's
escalate
Deef's
the
fault.
tension, and then, you know, trigger, and then
Projection.
explosion
Fucked
trigger.
up.
I think that's kind of unique in my experience to this group.
And
That
also
doesn't
evil.
say anything. It's
Like
unique.
saying you've got
So
an
what?
interesting face.
I think Mark isn't, and a lot of people new to this group aren't familiar with that.
But we spent all this time to try to show you, Mark, or show Dan, that Mark, I'm building up our feelings because he ignored us and talked down to us, and psychologized us. And you're giving no empathy to the people
Here's
that
a
felt
smile,
hurt,
yeah.
to the people that felt. See,
Yeah,
the
no
smile
empathy.
is
Started
because he's
much
hide his
earlier.
feelings.
You see how far back it was?
Yeah. Because he feels we're all, evil,
Yes,
minions of Deef, and therefore we are to be laughed at.
that's getting through his reality. We're getting through the defense. He gets startled, but then he just rebuilds himself. Hurt to the people that felt hurt.
Well, really, the first
By
time he
Dan
came to the
Mark's
meeting, first time he came to this
stereotypical
meeting,
borderline
he did not-
behavior.
Maybe I'm
He
the
did not
problem.
ask a single.
There, I think he said, maybe I'm the borderline. He sort of might know.
Did he? Replay that.
Well, he's talking with Kurt, so it's hard to hear.
He
Borderline
did not-
behavior.
Maybe I'm
He
the
did not
problem.
ask a single.
Maybe I'm the something? Maybe.
Came to this
Typical
meeting, he
borderline
did not-
behavior.
Maybe I'm
The people that felt hurt. To the people
Yeah.
that felt hurt. To the people that felt hurt.
Well, really, the first
By
time he
Dan
came to the
Mark's
meeting, first time he came to this
stereotypical
meeting,
borderline
he did not-
behavior.
maybe I'm
he
the
did not
problem.
ask a single. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh,
He said, maybe
Pedro.
I'm the narcissist. He said, maybe I'm the narcissist. Read his lips.
You heard
He said, maybe I'm
narcissist?
the narcissist.
I
Yeah.
can't read lips. But
I can tell he said narcissist, but go ahead and play it and read his lips.
Maybe I'm
He
the
did not
problem.
ask a single question.
maybe.
Maybe
Well,
I'm the
but-
narcissist.
But that doesn't make sense in the context of borderline
Well, yeah.
behavior.
Maybe I'm
He
the
did not
problem.
ask a single question about us.
Question. Thank
Not
you.
one.
That's
Not one
exactly
question
what I was
about
going to
us.
say.
We're complaining about Mark not asking a question to us. Why would he say, maybe I'm the narcissist? That doesn't. Maybe I'm
because
the
it's just the
borderline.
way-
That's
Maybe.
because
It's a
he's
deflection.
identifying with him.
It's
No,
a
he's
deflection.
identifying. He's saying he's basically saying there that I am.
Two of
Mark.
us are. Yeah, we two of us are narcissistic.
Yeah.
I am Mark. That's our theory. Yeah.
Right.
He
Not
came
one.
to our
He
group and
doesn't
he
know.
was enamored of us, and he thought we were
The
great.
group has
totally-
resentment
and
from
yet
the
he
first
had
visit.
no question.
I see. I agree with some of what you guys are saying.
A lot,
I think
some, little.
A lot to some. Let me back off the a lot.
he was not answering the questions. I think he was intellectualizing, and I think he was, using the pronouns
You're
skillfully and
reaching, Dan.
manipulatively.
Yeah, the pronoun thing.
He's
But,
squirming.
at the same time, I don't.
At the same time, I'm
I don't
stuck. I
At
don't
the
know
same
what to
time,
say
you're just
anymore.
wrong. You're just
And,
wrong.
uh,
Yeah.
come as the borderline guest speaker to an
I-
event about borderlines and talk about, are we criticizing him for talking about borderline personality?
Oh, we had the temerity to question him.
We wanted him to talk about
borderline.
his experience.
Right.
His.
Listen, you
He
No,
doesn't.
Adrian.
We agree
A
he's not
cat
capable
sometimes
of
I
doing
scare
it.
myself.
I think we agree he's not capable of doing it.
But you know what's weird
Especially
is that he had that came up, like he had that on standby. Like where the fuck did that come from?
I
Like,
think he's used it
randomly appeared.
before.
Whoa.
No, he's used it
Yeah, I
before.
think
It's
he
in
has
the
too.
it's in the Zoom backgrounds list because that's
Oh,
an
is
old
it?
one
You
he's
just press
used
the-
before.
Oh, is it? You just press the feelings button and there it is.
He's found it before, so yeah.
Yeah, he's
You-
used once you
he
use
does.
it once,
Adrian.
then it's in there.
I'm feeling like I'm in hell right now.
That
Smile.
was convincing.
I'm feeling like I'm in hell right now.
Ooh.
It is hell for
hell.
for a codependent to deal with these kind of emotions, which is why
This
So why
doesn't
didn't
seem
you?
like
So his laptop cut off. Then he came back.
a
Yeah, that
good
was
forum
convenient.
for, exchange of what it's like to be a borderline. What it's
like to be a borderline? Is it Mark being a
And he says
borderline
that.
or him being a borderline?
I mean, that's
Don't know.
exactly how Mark said it. What it's like to be a borderline. It's like exactly the way Mark said it. I'm just saying, I'm hearing Mark's voice, and it's like this is what he sells himself as. This is what Mark sells.
Oh,
I'm telling everybody what
good
it's
call.
borderline.
That's
And I don't
his
know what-
exact words. That's his little
Yeah.
catchphrase.
So
Yeah.
he's copying.
Because if you go back to Mark talking, he has that with that sort of different,
Same
slightly
words.
different accent. Yeah, same words. What it's like to be a borderline.
like to be a borderline.
Ooh.
What it's like to be a borderline.
So why didn't you speak up?
I don't know.
What do you think would have happened if you did?
You would have turned on me like you did tonight. You would have turned on me. You would have turned on me like you did tonight.
no,
Shrug.
I don't see. Okay,
Oh no.
So you took the bait. You argued
He
back.
doesn't.
of course.
Doesn't know
That's what he's trying to do.
We're
He
on his
wants you
side.
to argue with his cognitive distortion
Ah.
to twist your narrative, to take you to another sandbox. That's the strategy.
So he's saying that we're being offensive so that we'll go into the sandbox with him again and fight.
He's blocking
victim.
feedback. That's his goals.
Yeah.
That's his
Okay.
MO. To project anything, throw anything out there that you'll fight, that changes the topic. Oh, Debbie's getting it. Yeah.
I got it.
I think this forum, this format, Deef,
Format.
it's interesting and it's good. I feel like it's an emotional dojo for
about intellectualizing.
developing skills of
Emotional.
engagement.
Emotional
I
engagement.
don't think that's
That's part of CRBLEE. That's part of the Holy Grail, emotional engagement.
particularly conducive to an honest conversation about people's disorders. An honest
We're not doing a
conversation
performance
about
review.
What
people's
exactly
disorders.
is an honest
I don't-
That's
forum? I mean,
another Mark. I'm telling you, Mark got to him, and Mark fed him a bunch of crap and told him this group is not for him. I don't know. Mark is just.
I think he was a
injected-
borderline before Mark. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah,
Mark just,
yeah,
Mark
but
just
he's
worked out well
going
for him.
along. But he's going along with it. But this is another, honest conversation.
Well,
That's
arguably,
the Markism.
He uses Mark to express all the feelings that he can't express himself. Mark is his super ego, right? And that's why the words, that expression, that what it's like to be a borderline, who's picking up whose expressions? I would suggest Dan is picking up Mark's.
I don't feel like this is a good group to be vulnerable. Good group to be vulnerable. Good group to be vulnerable.
I don't
Yeah.
feel.
I don't feel like this is a group that would, honor my vulnerability. So fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
You
And if
cannot
you break those
question
rules,
a
there will be
borderline's
punishment.
overriding monologue. You
And if
cannot
you break those
question
rules,
a
there will be
borderline's
punishment.
overriding monologue.
I don't feel like this is a group that would, honor my vulnerability. So fuck you, fuck you.
That's
fuck
how
you,
he's felt the
You
whole
And if
cannot
you
time.
break those
Never
rules,
Question
been
a
there will be
borderline's
punishment.
overriding monologue.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
He's never been vulnerable the entire time he was in our group. I mean, he watched
You're-
other people get vulnerable, and other people.
You're following his spin. That's for him, that's not for us. The positive spin is for his projection to make sense. We take the trap of trying to correct it. Then we open the door to taking the toxic shame. Once we attack a distortion, that's insincere communication, there's no win. That's what they want, you to wrestle in the mud. That's the goal.
It makes their reality real. If you're pushing
Because the
back
real
against
is the
it, it must
other.
be real.
If they get you to defend against them, their reality of the world rejects me, abandons me, is threatening, that other world is validated.
Yep.
They're forcing
I
other
must be
people
right.
to be
This is
threatening,
happening.
to be bullying, to be cynical, to whatever scary world projection they're making.
Yeah, I mean, he's divorced himself from the group. That could help him. He doesn't want to be vulnerable here, but if anywhere you can find out about yourself, it's here. It's under the crucible, or in the crucible.
Yes, but you're defending the group. He's not here. It doesn't matter.
Well, I'm defending your. I mean, I guess I'm saying your the method of what you're doing here is.
Yes, I know,
something that-
but it doesn't. You don't need. You're caught. This is how deceptive, or how addictive, or how entrancing somebody who's projecting a reality block. The goal is to block reality through projection.
The facts, anything that he might be saying, any truth or reality or comment he might be saying, just it doesn't matter. It's
all distorted.
Yeah.
The goal is to block feedback. And even when you're watching it here, you want to block the feedback or counter it. And that they win. That's the goal. Their goal is to get distracted from reality. Let's go back to Claudia. I didn't get a chance to cover this, but if you want to get more triggered.
I don't know why I'm defending her. I don't know much.
She said that twice. I don't know why I'm defending her. Who's she defending? She's defending Michelle, that everyone said was jumped on her.
She's just wrapped up in the argument, yeah.
Well, no, she's defending Michelle because Michelle is probably a narcissist, reminds her of her mother. Mother falls apart, that means the whole world falls apart. So let me defend the narcissist.
About narcissism.
Or it's a proxy. And she says, I don't know much about my narcissism, but let me go tell you about it because I don't know anything.
And what make us? Who are us? Perhaps she got triggered as well. And
She did.
trigger was so there's a lot of pain right there. Sometimes I feel that I just jump into conclusion before allowing the person to explain themselves. I just like to finish my thoughts. Like right now, I'm just feeling really attacked right now. I don't know what triggered that person. I don't know if she's gonna be okay after this.
That's her mind blindness. I don't know why she got triggered, but I bleeding heart care about her as a victim because I also don't know when I get triggered. Because I'm fucking clueless because my whole goal is to block reality.
Yeah.
By projecting
on the reality, what she said.
onto the world all my crap. But she has no self-reflection, so she generally doesn't know. So we follow her because she's being honest. She doesn't know.
Trigger doesn't bring us anything pleasurable. My brain is gonna be overwhelmed. I will have to find a way to soothe myself.
She's telling the truth.
Yes.
And it seems that we all
Yes,
have
this is the
to
truth.
trigger it.
We're all triggered. That's a projection.
What's her fear of being triggered? Oh my gosh, we got triggered. So
because her goal is to block reality.
Yeah.
She's blocking any triggers. Reality is too threatening. She doesn't want to get triggered. That's a counter-dependent response.
That's like Dan. We don't honor his fear by not triggering him.
Yes, we shouldn't poke. That's a borderline.
So why is she so worried about you know, what
About?
was her name? Michelle
She's a
being out there somewhere,
Getting triggered.
triggered and, you know, in pain.
Because
Why-
Michelle
why
is a
that
proxy
business?
for her.
Okay, so she's being a proxy for Michelle now.
Claudia needs a proxy. A borderline needs a proxy because if they own their triggers in themselves, that's too
Gotcha.
it's too real. They need to use a third party or indirect. Like Mark, he said, threw other borderlines under the bus. Then he said artists are crazy. He didn't say he was crazy. He said artists. I lived the artist life. He had to do a one-step remove ownership. That's what they do.
We want to be triggered, or we want to recognize our triggers and be able to.
And she's self-soothing herself too right now. She's saying this stuff to make her feel good too, not just the group.
Use a healthy coping skills in order to continue our lives. Definitely agree with you, but he's being a leader of this group. Was supposed for him to step up and say, "Hey,
Yeah, protect
No,
me,
you
protect
don't.
me, daddy, daddy.
No, he's a
no,
facilitator.
now it's just playing with words right now."
Shame.
What should I have done
Playing with words.
differently?
I'm not saying that we should or should not.
But I am saying you should.
What the hell are you saying then? Yes. Aniakan's joining. He's busy painting somewhere, I think. That's what he said. So he might be
Spray
looking.
painting for now. So.
But if
Okay.
I'm a facilitator in a group,
I'm not saying should or should not, but if I'm a facilitating,
I need to make sure that the people who attend the
I
group,
need
they
to
feel
protect
safe,
everyone from triggers.
yes, that's
Keeping
the
people
narrative.
safe. No,
and they
it's not
can
your
be
job.
they can express themselves. Not
They have to be safe and express themselves. How the heck do you have that? One person expressing themselves will make someone else feel unsafe. But if you want to make everyone feel safe, you have to stop expression. A double bind.
feel attacked. I don't know why I'm defending her, but
She doesn't know why she's defending her.
that's the reason that
She's smiling while she's defending her. Look at that joy that's coming out that she's making up shit. Because she knows, she feels that she's conning us. Just like that BPD twisted language. When they finally create a narrative to blame someone else, they feel joy. They feel duper's delight. It's in their body language. It's in their micro expressions.
she said that we all fly monkeys, and I know where she.
And she sort of recognized. Michelle called Adria a flying monkey. It was very clear. She remembered it and looks like she's intentionally twisting it, smiles, and delivers it, and is waiting for someone to take the bait. And someone does.
She said
coming
I
from.
was a flying monkey. She said I was.
No, she said you guys are flying monkeys. And the thing is, when we step
That's how fast you're dealing with. This is not pre-thought. It's just on the fly.
to save someone, we kind of prevent a harm to come, right, to that person. But if we do that over and over again, when that person is going to learn the skills to save themselves.
She's arguing the opposite argument. First argument,
Yeah,
like going,
She's giving a nothing lecture.
Yeah.
she's doing the
She
opposite.
just said, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You can't take care of yourself. Now take care of yourself.
Blame
Which
the
is
leader. Now everyone needs to take care of themselves.
The use of the comment when you say something right, that part when you do this right, that is a fucking tell of you're full of shit. You're just throwing out bullshit. You're just trying to get people on your side. It's like a weak version of a sales technique of trying to get people to agree with you, right?
Oh, like
Seeking validation.
right? There's a implanted confirmation.
But me, as an outsider, I think that was his job.
My job
Some
to what?
man, it's
You guys didn't back me up, and you guys were all still triggered by Michelle, so I could have hammered her, but since everybody was tired and no one saw her playing with this victim card social justice bullshit, I tried to lightly call her out, but she was too squirmy.
And it's just fucking playing with me right now.
No,
I'm playing with her. Plus, everyone was defending me, so then that was falling for her bait.
he's not. So
I mean, just like
He is. It's just like your job, my job. I think you should take some
Your job, my
responsibility
job, everyone's
and
job.
accountability.
I was asking her. I asked her, tell me specifics. Now she's saying that I didn't. I said, I spun it.
She knows
And she's throwing it
something
in a
happened.
straight face right here.
She's like she knows something happened, but she doesn't know what it was, but you did something, Deef. And she wants you to take accountability.
Because she's projecting.
I'm having a feeling and it's your fault. That's what's going on.
I'm projecting. This person's bad. I will make up shit on the fly. I've decided the good guys and the bad guys. I know the main characters. I'm just writing the script on the fly. That's how they operate. Seems like it.
But I know Deef's in charge. That's his fault.
Okay.
To make sure that everyone in the group feels safe.
Why?
So I'll be back on the next group. I want to hear his perspective. Yes, and I just want to hear his perspective on this, because if this is gonna cause me more harm than good, then I have to say that's not a group for me. Then I am open, but if he's a facilitator of the group, I need to know his opinion about Michelle and how he felt it. I'll be back, but I have to realize it's not a safe place. It's just like anybody can show up. They can tell you anything that you wanna say.
That is called reality. That is called restaurants. That is called Walmart. That is called the fucking world.
People can show up. Oh my God! What do you mean?
Anybody can show up and anybody can say anything you want. Yeah, freedom of speech.
She's arguing about reality. I want to know every place I go to.
That's the problem. Yeah. I need the Service New South Wales check-in app for everywhere I go, so that everyone knows. Yeah, no, fuck off.
I want to be safe everywhere.
A lot of these groups say there's rules, and we're not going to pass. We're not going to have judgment, and we're not going to challenge people because everybody's view is their view, and it's like, okay,
and you're going to accept my view of reality, and you're going to do exactly what I want at all times, even if I don't know what that is.
And don't challenge me.
Because it's your job to know.
No challenging.
If you get that wrong, and I'll determine what is right and wrong.
Based on my feelings, based on my projections.
Yeah. So strap yourself in, kids.
And we're gonna be triggered again. And I just wonder where the healing is coming. If you keeping triggering again, so your brain is always in a hypervigilance mode. So when
hypervigilance mode.
Hypervigilant mode.
Thank you.
She's already in hypervigilant mode.
And you're able to decrease your nervous system and be able to go through healing, because I don't want to defend myself against another narcissist. I don't want to have that experience again. I created
Never again do I want to deal with a narcissist. I want to guarantee in every single reality experience confirmation from some third party.
This is weapons grade borderline. This is
aversion to that. So if I create an aversion to that, I recognize the red flags. I think that's the point, right? You come here to recognize red flags.
Now she's refrained. I think that's a point now. This is the goal of the group. 1, 2, 3. And I got a finger. That means it's more accurate. I'm going to count down a new injunction.
Recognize the trigger. Recognize the inner child wounds that you have to work on.
Recognize. Then.
And it starts.
Which doesn't relate to the first point.
I don't think that was really healing, except that phrase that I'm going to talk with my therapist about it. I loved it.
This phrase.
Was like.
So that she's going to talk. So she's going over you.
Myself, that was trying to be honest.
There is no
I'm not
sincere communication.
This triggered her.
Insincere. There is no sincere.
It also triggered Michelle.
There is no sincere communication.
But she didn't know. She's saying it triggered her. She's going to talk to her therapist. But she had no self-reflection to understand why it bothered her.
The therapist thing was also an injunction against you because because at one point you're the leader. Oh no, now I've got to talk.
I'm here to go talk to my parents.
She's doing full on Karen, right? She wants to talk to the manager of DEEF, which is the therapist.
Well, it's a
She's
triangulation.
looking for mother. That's the other part of the chart. She's looking for my other. Oops, that's Megan with an H.
Cool.
Mother, my other. Merging with the mother, merging with an authority figure.
That this was not a great group. What I'm trying to say is, where is the healing on this? Because I'm really...
We don't know what she's trying to say. She doesn't know what she's trying to say. It's just word salad, but it's on the fly projection. It's not.
Well, it sounds cogent, but it's not.
Yes.
It doesn't feel good to her, and she has to get the heck out because it doesn't feel good, and she doesn't
No, she does not want to get the heck out. If she wanted to get out, she could have left.
True, but first
we
she
went
wanted
back and
to
forth for an
attack.
hour.
Yeah.
She wanted to self-regulate by blaming the people in the group. People start defending. Now she's dumped her shame onto the group.
Ah, okay, now she feels
So
better.
she feels better now.
She's healing. She's getting her healing.
She feels
Yes.
better.
That's how borderlines.
But there's no way, you can't get her to own it. There's just no way you can say, hey, listen, honey, this has nothing to do with us. She'll just go round and round and round for forever.
That's all right. She just showed us what we need to observe.
Yes, but right now, Holly, you're attacking her as Avatar. She's just a case study. Insulting an avatar, internal object, or a group object, does nothing to an avatar. That's where Marianne on Thursday, I had to keep her in the spotlight and slowly escalate. And then attack. You just can't sloppily attack people because they just shut down or they block it. You have to open up the wound enough so then you can plant the bomb or you can plant the salt to make it fucking hurt.
How did you do that on was it Thursday, Dave? What did you do?
Debbie, what did I do?
It was a lot.
You gave her all the rope.
Yeah,
I let her
she
talk
was
and I
the
gave her
whip,
rope and eventually I sort of stonewalled. What did I stonewall with?
and it went on.
You're good at
And
stonewalling. I must say your stonewalling tactics are really good. I'm not as good as that.
I think I said, I have no idea what you're saying.
yeah,
I said,
yeah,
I'm lost.
Yes.
over and over and over and over, and it went
Then she said,
on
well,
and
ask
on.
me a question where you don't understand. And I said, no, I'm lost. And then when she played more dumb, I said, I'm lost, and look at the rest of the group that's not responding to you. They're also probably lost.
Oh, did you post this? I think I watched this.
Mhm.
Yes, it was online. I watched it.
There's two parts. The first part. The second part, the after party, I called her out harder.
Yeah,
That was good. Okay, yeah. I'm trying to keep track of what I've watched. My God, lockdown is doing my head in.
That is
Remember how
lockdown.
you said I dominated the meeting? Well, this is a real domination of the meeting. She had every minute of it.
Oh, Marianne.
Maybe
when
half
she
of it.
flooded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a conversation between her and Deef, which I was perfectly all right.
That's okay. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I think
It
Deep
was
knows how to
exposure.
handle them. They just don't know how to handle Deep. That's the problem.
No, they can. Their goal is not to handle me. Their goal is just to self-regulate. To not be alone. Artificial connection.
oh my god.
Oh. You guys could have jumped in. Why didn't you guys jump in then?
But we're not gonna learn then, because
We don't know how much rope to give her. We don't know at what point
Yeah.
it's like, yes, she's annoying, but okay, maybe she has a point here. Let's see. So
Let's see. I forgot. Let me see.
Do you feel like if you rant too much, though? I mean, I'm just asking this. I'm not saying.
I'm just asking.
that's a bad thing. But do you feel like if you rant and rant and rant, you drive people away as far as friendships?
Oh,
What a good question.
isn't that a time to say yes?
I'm asking. Like,
No, everyone loves being ranted at. of course.
So what?
would that
Oh, I said sure. Then she twisted it. What's the twist?
would that make you want to change?
Would that make you? She's projecting it outward. Let me pontificate. If you're totally isolated and hopeless, you would start getting into despair territory. Okay, this is a waste. Let's go.
She also
further up.
sounded like she was crying at different times.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't go to round 2. When I
She
do
was
it, I mean,
crying?
it is like so phenomenal.
she
It's like
sounded like it. I
almost
couldn't tell.
miraculous. Why I
Who
don't do it
cares?
more, I don't
That's your
know.
trigger.
So
Crying not a
sad.
regular, consistent practice.
I was just trying to figure out what the fuck her deal
strategies in
was.
these books. One of the things, the
Person, then, are you?
maybe you're trying to do this like amorphous blob of undoability. You have to break it down into like, okay, next action.
She might be drunk. She sounds a bit drunk.
What was your question?
Yeah, I was just typing that.
So
It's not.
I wonder
It's not a panacea.
if there's a tendency for codependents or some codependents to be afraid of being wrong.
Maybe.
Definitely, yeah.
Possibly.
So then
yeah.
some people can shortcut being wrong or fear of being wrong by just trying to call her out to see if she gets the message.
I mean,
Mental
accountability is
gymnastics,
not a-
so you can
it's not-
change
it's not-
context and words to. So I'm indirectly calling out our behavior. Will she respond?
As opposed to what?
Angie's seeing sort of where I'm trying to go. Yes. So
As
trying to
opposed to
teach
what?
Angie.
Saying just
So then you can
I-
go to support groups and you go to forums and you can get good at this sort of posturing and linguistic tweaking, because online we don't see the whole picture. We don't see all the context, so people can tweak context and tweak framing to make it appear you're never wrong. You see the slow build-up? Reflecting back the behavior of Marianne. And then you
But
get
there-
supply
there's
by
one-
always being right or giving advice, and then the support group ends up being a codependent enabler.
But there's a lot of evidence how, like, writing something down
So-
or articulating it, like, increases.
So this is where
compliance.
Angie's getting an advanced first meeting to show you how support groups. So this is the slow process of calling out bad behavior, which Holly, you need to improve on. It's a slow thing to pull the person out. So then you can stab them or suffocate them. Because you have to see if they're really bad actors. You can't just or I guess you can. You can just this person's bad, shut them down. But that's not as vicious. Can be cancerous.
Yeah.
But there's
Yeah,
a lot of evidence that shows that just articulating it to other people or writing
because
it
people
down.
articulate, it creates a feeling of being right. Creates a feeling of progress, but they're only fooling themselves. See, now she's defensive. Why is she defensive? Because I said that you're masturbating in support groups to fool yourself.
To fool yourself.
I'm shining a big light on her reality. I'm countering her reality block. She's trying to spin it back with the cognitive distortion by saying it's useful to journal and it's useful to get to groups and talk things out. But I'm slowly taking away a rope, and now she's saying, you're interrupting me. Because I'm blocking her block of reality.
It's very, that's like sort of a pet peeve of mine, interrupting. You talk over me a lot. So,
Yes.
that's rude.
And it's a pet peeve. Why? Why?
Because I do it too.
Oh, you do it too. So if you're allowed to do it, why aren't other people allowed to do it?
There's a psychological thingy. Well, I don't think I do it as much as you.
See, that's the little counter jut that the first video said. My boyfriend's wrong sometimes. They get a joy. You always have to have that little jab you have to put in. That's how petty they are.
But there's a psychological thing.
Is there a competition on who does it more? So I'm calling out the pettiness right there. It's the punishment. What's the reward? Is this a race of who interrupts the other person more?
You're
Ridicule.
usually reacting to
Ridicule.
something that bugs you about yourself.
And?
How do you know this bugs you?
Ha! I got someone to join. Newbie.
Well, I mean, it's a social norm too. You don't talk over people. But I am
Social
quite
norm.
loquacious. So,
But if you
I
break
mean,
the
if I
rule
don't come up
yourself,
for air,
you're
I
breaking the
guess I can
social norm. Is it
understand.
fair to call out somebody else who's
I can
breaking
understand why
a
people
social
are
norm that you do?
No, that's not fair. I could be an asshole.
Can
So
be.
are you trying to call out me being too much of an asshole? Haha! Indirect attack, just call it out full. Is that what the comment is for?
Takes one to know one, I guess.
Backing down, not fully, but still holding on, but not escalating anymore. Okay. So what's the behavior change you want? You want to have the full floor?
I guess I need to not do it and be the change. Gandhi says, "Be the change you want to see in the world."
Now pivot to a guru, and I just play ignorant.
That's Gandhi's fault.
Change you want to see in the world.
You never heard that? That's a very famous
Never
Gandhi.
ever in my life. I've been living in a cave in the back of a crack.
That's a very famous Gandhi quote.
And I had looked this up while she was talking, and it's not from Gandhi, but I didn't say
Shrunken,
anything.
Took the bait.
invisible,
Shrunk in the cave.
Fantastic self. Shrunken,
I went to the cave.
Fantastic.
You're
You're
Gandhi.
You didn't eat me. You ate the decoy.
You didn't eat me.
I am safe back here.
I am safe
Haha.
back here.
The joke is on you because you didn't eat me. You ate the decoy. I am safe.
So inside
back here.
joke.
Haha. The joke is on you.
For the insiders that I'm not following her bait.
You know,
Support
Gandhi
groups.
meditates-
We have our false self that we just fight with other people's false self. Nothing happens, but creates the illusion of progress, or it creates the illusion of control. So someone goes to other groups, gets beat up by a narcissist, gets kicked out. They have a wounded ego. Oh, I'm calling out her earlier wound. Isn't that beautiful? How did Gemma kick me out? I want to find out the rule. Blah blah blah. And I'm now going to ridicule her stupidity. Go. Coming here and making battle posture, and then feel their ego gets fixed a little. You're coming here to fix your weak ego. You're such a loser. They can feel good. And then there's so many Zoom meetup groups. You can jump to another one, another one, another one. You can repair your ego.
Well, I don't want to do that.
That's why you
I mean,
need
it's
to
like
despair.
people that are married 5 times. They keep marrying the same person. You know, maybe you need to look at yourself. Maybe I need to look at myself. My therapist says I'm very self-aware. Other
That was funny.
Didn't see that coming.
people might beg to differ.
Your
She says I'm
therapist
very
says.
self. Yeah, I
This
mean,
is
other
the
people
I think
same
her therapist
move.
is Gandhi.
This is
Same
the
move.
same move. The same move that Claudia gave. I'm going to tell my therapist. My therapist tells me this.
Third party
my
projection.
super ego.
It's a projection style.
Triangulation. It's triangulation. It's
Sure.
like
Bring in a third party. But it's a bait. People probably would not agree. That's what you're saying.
Sometimes 2 truths can exist
Yes, but I'm still lost. Okay, I get tired here. So what do I say?
Oh, that's the Kellyanne Conway alternative facts narrative, isn't it?
Pivot, maybe. So she's like now degrading, so that's where I say I'm lost, and I just don't want.
Aware with her, but the other person I front a little bit. Who knows?
I'm getting a little lost.
I just think sometimes two truths can coexist.
So no more ping-ponging.
Well, my therapist says I'm very self-aware. Well, maybe because I disclose more to her. Maybe the person that says I'm not self-aware, maybe I'm more guarded with them.
But I'm still lost. Or this
so
is
in
essentially
their view,
saying
I'm not self-aware since I'm guarded.
See, and I'm still lost, and you don't. This is cold shoulder. She's saying my therapist said this and said this and said that, and I'm trying hard. Most codependents say, "Oh, I will validate you. Oh, you're trying." Oh. By saying I'm lost, I'm saying I don't care. By posture. Care.
What are you lost about?
A lot. Are you assuming I'm following? Are you assuming the group is following your train of thought?
I was until you interjected.
She was. That's why I interjected.
Now that you've clarified.
That I'm lost. You see that laugh? That's sort of that jerk. That sort of emotional shake-off mechanism. Even though we don't see her on video.
So you don't think two truths can exist simultaneously, or
she tries again?
A little bit of both. It could be a little bit of both. The answer could be.
No, I'm lost.
A little bit of this and a little bit of that, and a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Is she regressing?
As the song goes.
No, I'm lost. L-O-S-T.
Right. What are you lost about? Specifically.
What you're trying to communicate. There's a glass. Maybe she is drunk. Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be a tear. Maybe. That is a sniffle. A grunt? What's a grunt? Earlier, you made the argument, oh, another sniffle. Maybe she is crying.
No, she was sniffling she was sniffling a lot. I noticed a lot of sniffles. I don't know if it was because she was walking outside, and when you're walking outside, sometimes you can get the sniffles, or if she has an allergy, or if she's a drug user. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say that.
She seemed like she was really just self-soothing. The entire time she was on, she was just talking to make herself feel better. And she seemed like she might be crying or teary or definitely drinking. And she was just on to just talk, just to babble, just to make herself feel. Yeah.
But there's hotlines to do that.
But she heard that you're a safe place, Steve, that you operate a safe space for people to come and talk. That's what she heard on the internet.
They want a flavor of compassion that only codependents can offer.
No way she heard that.
It's about.
No way she heard that. I want to know where she heard it.
It's a parody. I could compete back and forth there, but I got tired of that. I'll let you go a little longer, but now I'm lost at where you're trying to go, because if you're arguing that you found interruptions were difficult, let you explain, but then what you're explaining, I can't keep up. I don't know where you're going. What's the point? Actually, that's what I ended, right? On this.
What's the point of what you're doing right now? What's the point of what you're doing right now? What's the
Sniffle.
point of what you're doing right now?
3
What's
sniffles.
the point of what you're doing right now?
I'm lost.
Well,
Shuffling.
I will admit that I can be so talkative that I don't give the other person a chance to speak.
Ownership.
So they're almost compelled to interrupt.
So what's the point of your interrupting? Loud typer.
Ego.
What's the threat?
Well, also because of my ADD, if I feel like if I don't say it, if I don't say it right now, I'm gonna forget what I was gonna say. I mean, it's not the end of the world if I forget what I was gonna say.
Yes, if no one's following, no one's keeping up, you're just trying to get it out. What's it matter?
Yeah. I mean, it seems like most people, I don't know.
I'm forcing her
I
to
don't think I
reflect.
speak nothingness. I mean,
That's her doubt. So she's trying to build her ego up, saying, I don't think I'm totally insignificant. She's exploring that. If it was in person or a video, I could do more.
most people want to engage in conversation.
If I can't follow and I'm getting lost, and other people aren't joining in, which is more signs that they're probably lost. What's the conclusion? If
What are
you
you
just
lost
add more
about?
words,
Specifically, what are you specifically lost about?
she wants specifics, and I'm not going to give it a lot. Context, perspective, direction, purpose.
So ask me one question to clarify.
Give me a rope. I'm drowning. I'm lost. There's no question I can ask.
All right. All right. Well, it is what it is. You know, you don't even.
It isn't
have to...
is what it is. If this is your interaction with the world, even if this is your this is when my fucking water alarm came and messed everything up. If you're not toxic, you're not gonna communicate with people. People will leave.
Give me some feedback. How can I improve to be a better person?
People will leave. I left. My water got flooded upstairs because she was flooding the group, and then Kurt tried to jump in.
Is that where is that the question we've morphed to, that you're asking how to be likable?
Yeah. But I mean, you know, if you see something glaring, then I'm doing wrong. And again,
That's giant bait for codependent. Please rescue me. Anything you see wrong.
Jesus.
Does Kurt take the bait?
it's not people pleasing. It's just so I can, you know, bring joy to other people's lives too. I mean,
So I can bring joy.
Life purpose. You're not here to make other people's lives miserable and to repel them.
Give you time to answer a question.
She just throws these phrases out like it's sort of self-help bingo. Yeah.
Because she's
Gandhi,
been to so
it is
many
what it
groups.
is. Bring joy to other people's lives. It's all just bullshit.
It's fragments of self-help and gives the feeling
It's fragments
of
of the
something.
self.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fragments of the self being assembled on the fly.
Okay, but it's not a real question that's answerable. How can I be likable? So
It's not a real... That's a perfect opening, like saying, oh, so are you a loser? I mean, there's so many ways you could have pivoted this. Oh, it's not real. Let me go postmodern.
I don't think any of us could possibly
This is
answer that
impossible.
question for someone else in their lives.
Yeah. So it sounds like there's
That's a
not something
dodge.
really glaring.
She took it to heavy validation. Your answer means I'm not that bad.
Oh, I'm
But
not
she's
fucked up.
saying,
Thanks,
how do
Bert.
I
Bye.
blend? How do I blend in better? I mean,
Right.
how do I blend into the normal society better?
No, she said, how do I be more likable?
That's not what I said either. I just you asked how can I be likable, and I just said that's not an answerable question. If the question is there something glaring, I guess maybe I would say it
Maybe
the difficulty we're having in following the train of thought might be something, or the thing that you mentioned yourself about complaining would be something glaring, I guess. But
I guess. What? Why are you softening? I guess.
Just depends on what
Yeah, you should have gone
you're
harder.
trying to
on
get
this
at.
one. Yeah.
Hey, you're.
And what's freaking me out is I can hear your voice and your lips aren't moving. So can you just lip sync your own stuff? Because it's freaking me out.
You're the official asshole here, DeFi. I didn't want to, I didn't want to take over your role. I mean,
Oh, that's my role now? I don't know.
So kind. That's such a lovely gesture.
How does she answer?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I just, what the situation I'm dealing with now is I used to, just by nature, not trying, I used to be very well liked. I'm still an extrovert and had
I
a
used
lot
to
of
be well-liked.
friends. And then when the brain injury started manifesting.
See what you open. Oh, this is when brain injury came in. Kurt, you opened the brain injury.
Yeah, what was the
story.
brain injury? What happened? I didn't get that one.
We don't care.
My personality changed. And,
Go watch the football movie.
I
TPI.
became depressed. People don't want to
It's all
really be
because of
around
my brain
depressed
damage.
people. And my temper got kind of out of control. And I lost patience with people.
sounds like
So-
you want the world to change.
That's not
My
bad.
patience got
She ignored it.
short. Well, no, I mean, I think,
Oh, she got back to it.
I changed. So maybe I need to change back. But, it's called healing and it's a process.
It's called healing. I didn't know it was called healing. This is
How
a
much
giant
of this is
epiphany.
true?
It's called healing.
I don't understand.
It's a process. Wow.
She should write a book. That would sell.
It's called healing. This would enlighten so many people.
And I heard it's a process.
No, she needs to start with a YouTube channel because we haven't got enough borderlines to our YouTube channels. So she should do that first. Play the victim.
She could get some, some supply. Oh, she took a break after the healing process. You stumbled her, Kurt.
I think.
I think. She said it's called healing as a process, and then 20
Do
seconds.
you feel like you're self-aware yourself?
I do, but, I'm sure I have my blind spots too. I'm open to feedback if it's constructive criticism, but you can't, I don't mean literally here, right now. You can't get.
I don't mean right here, right now. I'm open to constructive criticism, but not here now.
Yeah,
Somewhere
just don't
else.
speak up. I want to hear about it, but don't tell me.
Some special location, I'll take it. That doesn't make any sense.
It's like Kellyanne
Good
Conway,
grasp
except
system.
slow down. She's like real slow Kellyanne. This is, yeah.
She is slower, but Kellyanne has an agenda. This is just rambling, which I think she admits to later.
This is all over the place. Kellyanne is at least on target.
Somebody in a 2-hour Zoom meeting from.
Hey, that's the argument that Mark made. You can't know anybody in.
My gosh, you could do it in
meeting.
10 minutes if you wanted to.
You
5,
can't know
1.
someone in
You could
2
be
hours,
honest for a
2
second.
meetings, 3 meetings, blah blah blah.
Well, you can't
Mark
know
made that
someone in 2
argument.
hours if there's no one around. If there's no one there, you can't know them. There's no one there.
That's the issue, but they don't know that.
Oh, you'll never know me. No, because you don't really
Babbling and
exist.
rambling.
Now she admits to
But,
rambling.
you know, I'm sure I have my blind spots, but I think actually.
I'm sure I have blind spots, but I'm
But
not investigating. They're there.
She had the floor. That's what she wanted. She had the floor. She had Deep's attention. That's it. Mission accomplished. Talk about me.
We evoked some emotions. That's why she's a bit more slower. She's a little confused.
Than one professional tell me that I'm very self-aware. So
more than one,
How
not
do you
just
know
a
that
bit.
you have blind
More than
spots?
one now.
What's
I know
what's
what I'm
with the
doing wrong. I
self-awareness?
just am not, and I know what I
What
need
is-
to do. I'm just not doing.
I know what I need to do, but I'm not doing it. So this is a tweaked angle to get some sympathy. To say, I'm trying. Just like you, I'm a codependent, I'm trying. But I haven't done anything.
How do you know you have blind spots?
I don't know that. I'm open to.
I'm open to the idea I have blind spots.
But you said you have blind
monitoring.
spots.
I just don't use it.
I guess what I meant. Maybe I misspoke. I am open to the possibility that I do. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. No,
So I'm not,
self-aware. My
not
therapist
saying,
says
I'm not saying that I'm not got blind spots, but I'm open to the idea of not.
Yes.
I'm self-aware. Fuck you. I'm self-aware. You're wrong. I'm right. You know, I'm open to the possibility that I have blind spots.
I think she's self-aware,
Does
but
that
she
make
can't
sense?
change. She can't change.
She's not self-aware.
Not even
follow
close.
the bait. She's
I'm
sensitive,
open to feedback.
maybe. She's not open to feedback. She wants to be. She likes the idea of it. So someone fill me in. She left.
Is she trying to
can't-
bait us?
You can't.
To get into a conversation with her to
That's the
analyze
whole
her,
damn
and then-
meeting.
Yeah.
You were there.
Yeah. No, but I mean, but,
You
but we
forgot?
left it to you.
You didn't remember? She's trying to bait the whole meeting. This is what
Yes.
that's what a
Well-
BPD's projection is. They need other people to play the parts of their projection. In order to get other people to play the parts, they have to trigger them to get them to join, to correct, to take the bait, rescue them,
You have a
answer
job to
questions.
do. Yeah, you got to help them reassemble themselves, or assemble themselves, rather.
Yeah.
That's your job.
Yep.
And the
I know.
less you
I know.
do,
I've
the
been
more
doing
they
it all
fall
my
apart.
life.
They need
The
the
The less you do,
other.
the more they fall apart. Let them go.
They need someone to enmeshment. They need someone to
Yeah.
join their distortion. That's where they're helpless. That's part of this afternoon's argument. If you realize the borderline needs you as a self, they're more desperate than you.
Mhm.
We just have to figure out how to take advantage of that. But they're coming out of you.
Yeah, I was
from
going to say, how do you
desperation.
weaponize that? I mean, you weaponize that probably by being, depending on what you want as the outcome, I guess, Steve.
Well, borderlines say that other borderlines are easy to manipulate.
Yeah, I'd agree
And
with
they're
that.
easy to spot.
They're gullible.
So there
They're
is
gullible.
some easy way to hypnotize them or paint a dream to get them to do stuff. They're gullible. Actually, in a sense, if their goal is to block reality, okay? And we're misreading this by thinking that they want to heal. They want to get better. But no, their goal is to block reality. So if we just say, okay, your goal is to block reality, I will help you block reality. And what's the mechanism they want? They want a cognitive distortion that's a positive ego spin. So all you do is lie to them to spin their
Yeah,
ego.
pump them up.
They're happy. That's all they want.
And blame and get on the blame game with them. Yeah, that person's, yeah, absolutely. Gandhi said that, and absolutely, you are the most self-aware person I've ever met. Absolutely.
Yes, but then somehow take that
makes
carrot.
sense.
Take that
And
carrot to
then
guide them
sneak out
somewhere.
and leave them with the bill. Yeah.
Yeah, and then thank you. Where's your ATM card?
Oh, yeah, so you
As
give
I said,
them
it's about
positive
what outcome you
spin,
want.
and then you play victim yourself.
Yeah.
And you say you need to be rescued, because they want people to rescue them. So that's fair game. So fair game works both ways, right? So if you give them cognitive distortions, pump up their ego, and then you say, I'm a victim. I forgot my wallet. I forgot this. They'll rescue you. Is it that simple? It might be that simple. I don't know. Because if you give them a positive distortion, they see you as all perfect, all good.
Right.
So anything you say after the positive spin is taken at face value as positive. As gullible. So then you just tell them to give you money and stuff. That's how you could manipulate that. Because you as the other are him. You and the borderline are one. As long as you stay in perfection, as long as you stay on their good side, you play victim, they rescue you. Would that work?
For a while. How long could you keep that racket going for, though? That's the thing.
As long as they keep it going. As long as they keep it going.
Yeah, but then how much do you want to be enmeshed with someone who has unlimited ability to just throw
Well, if you
shit
want
out?
to get them gone, then you play victim and
Yeah.
you stonewall in despair.
Yeah. And then get the fuck out of there. Yeah.
They'll get out of there. If you stonewall in sadness, they'll try to help you. They'll frantically try to rescue you. But if you keep staying sad, they're gonna go dodge. They're leaving town. And if it's quiet borderline, you go depressed, angry at yourself. But over borderline, you just use this despair. So you flood yourself with despair. You agree to their positive cognitive distortions.
Yeah, ultimately, no matter the flavor of BPD, you excuse yourself and get the fuck out of Dodge.
Well, yeah, that's using the shield of sad baby or mad baby. Yeah, that's the way to get rid of it. But if they're invading you, instead of assuming that they want reality, assume they're blocking reality. That's the behavior. They're not looking for comfort, or they're looking for comfort through cognitive distortions, through fantasy, through blocking reality. They're not looking for comfort through fixes, through intellectualizing.
Don't fix them. That's the thing. You don't do that.
So a lot of today's in-person, I was trying to emphasize, or this is a whiteboard, so I was trying to emphasize the difference between counter and codependence. And this blocking reality, instead of taking a borderline personal, recognizing that they're flooded, that's why they're blocking reality. So at first, Monita was sort of depressed, and a lot of the other group was depressed. After hearing all the manipulation and seeing the twisting of words, it was like, oh, this is hopeless. So that depression sinked in. But the pitch I'm trying to say, and I haven't figured it out fully, is to communicate to a borderline. And we sort of eked out a strategy of just give them cognitive distortions. Instead of trying to give them a need met by being codependent, you meet their need to block reality. But that's a shortcut
Well, you
from
can't. The problem can't. If you challenge their version of reality, you will send them into a rage.
Well, if you
So you've got
challenge their
no-
version of reality, you're fighting a defense that's designed to block input. Their
you've
main
gotta-
defense is
you
to
gotta-
block feedback.
Yeah. So if you go with all their distortions, really that's your only path, and then you've got to pivot from there to get what you want.
Well,
So you've got to agree with them to a point and take a right angle, but I'm not quite sure. I'm not there
You help
yet.
them
I'm trying to
spin.
catch up.
See?
Yeah.
But then you can help them spin inside of themselves.
Yeah.
Instead of
You want
having a
them to go
negative spin
inwards.
where you're blocking their delusion and trying to get them to align in life, you give them a positive spin where they get lost
But
in
you've
their
got to get them
positive.
you've got to get them to spin internally, not
Yes.
externally.
So you get the spin right, then now you're in their blind spot. You're now the positive
which is where you want to
figure.
be.
And once you're in the blind spot, now you can start guiding their direction somehow. That I haven't figured out. But the weak spot is they need us as containment, so they're merging with us as the other. They're enmeshed. So we're already inside their head. So we should have more options, but we just have to get out of the perspective of cause and effect, self-chasing after needs. We have to get out of this linear framework. And
Well,
just
we go
spin.
into
We just
rescue
have to
mode,
twist.
trying to risk. Yeah, we're trying to rescue them from their crazy and say, no, look at this reality. You can't do that.
Well, see, the rescuing is linear. We think they're lost and there's a goal. That's a linear, logical
That's
framework.
what I mean about.
They spin.
This is what I mean about the codependent abusing the borderline. That's abuse.
Well, it's a mislanguage. Yeah, so it could be abuse. But both people lose, so.
True. But if you want the borderline around, that's the only way you can deal with them. Because if you try and get them to see reality, it'll just end up in ever-ending fights that you can't get out of. This way, at least, if you want to stay in it, you can make sense of it. But there's a weird bit in the middle of cognitive distortions that you're going to have to deal with.
That's the angle. If you can get outside of your framework of being cause and effect, chase after needs, and you become pure rational, pure circular, pure emotional. So
I
then
think you almost accept everything they say as though it is true, because it's true for them at that time.
yeah,
and
but
have
what they're
no
saying is not
expectations.
about truth or not. What they're saying, the goal is just to block reality. So that's why it's not truthful. Yeah. If they're blocking reality,
So
they're
the-
using lies. But the goal is just to block
So the-
feedback.
So the Dr. Phil example that you played earlier, the best way for those daughters to handle their mother would be to either agree with her or offer absolutely no response in the other direction.
So don't take the bait by taking the opposite.
Correct.
Because that feeds.
Don't try and get from the mother, because they're trying to get from their mother acknowledgement that she stole the dress or whatever. That's never going to happen. You have to go, yep, you know what? You're exactly right.
So the doorway is positive spin, but it's not about the narrative. It's about the emotion. That's the tricky thing I haven't figured out how to teach yet.
Ooh. But they're emotionally dysregulated. That's going to be tough.
No, it's easy because they're dysregulated. They're already in motion with the emotion. We're trying to contain it with a story, or they're trying to dump it on us with a story. If we play in the story by blocking it, that feeds it, that balances it. If we jump in and just agree with it, that's also sort of dealing with the story, but you can get underneath the story, pre-story. Before the story is just raw emotion. So if you can spin the emotion without playing in the story, it's it's working intuitively. That's why I haven't gotten the language yet. It's a pre-symbolic emotional interaction. You're helping them regulate, or you're not even helping them. You're just directing the dysregulation.
Well, you're letting them, yeah, exactly. You're letting them dysregulate.
Yes, so that's containment first, and then now you can let that dysregulation, you become the sort of guiding force of the dysregulation.
Yeah, but at a certain point, you've got to get to that point where you don't become the object or the focus of that anger or rage or whatever it is. That's the problem. You've got to almost be.
You're personalizing
some kind of enabler.
They just want you to contain it all. That's why it's personal. Yes, since you're the other, they've enmeshed.
Well, then you do that.
They want you to act out the anger. That's completing the circuit. But if they give you the anger and somehow you can redirect or channel that dysregulation where you don't act it out.
Oh, God.
That's sort of the Holy Land, or that's my vision or my intuition that this would be the better way.
It's like, and it's probably a bad example given the storm that Debbie's in at the moment. It's like being a lightning rod and taking the lightning and throwing it into the ground, right?
Yes. If you could take their lightning and dump it into Sad Baby,
shove it into the ground,
earth, let it pass through you into the ground.
Yeah, but
it just makes my head spin thinking about how to neutralize that kind of venom. Like how do you ingest that poison? And
yeah, that's because you're trying to manage it. You're trying to direct it. It's a circular energy that just goes around you and through you. If you get in the way and try to direct it, then yes, you're sucking the poison and you're acting it out, or you're blocking it. Yeah, that's the codependent, linear way of dealing with a borderline.
Yeah, to fix it. Well, maybe, okay, so here's the thing. So they come to us because they think we'll fix it for them. So maybe part of this is, I'm just talking out of my ass at the moment, but maybe part of this is giving them the illusion that you're going to fix it, but not. And then you take that energy and you move it somewhere else. I don't know. There's something in that because they do like the fixing stuff. So you give, okay, yeah.
If you provide a hope angle,
stuff.
That's a carrot. If you provide hope cheerleading, now they're sucked in. They'll always take that bait. But then you can do an indirect or redirect or circular something after you've caught them, or you switched it to a hope narrative. The ego spin.
So kind of, you've got to give them the comfort and the soothing. Take the venom, shove it into the ground, whilst at the same time trying to get your own that three-dimensional chess in the dark, Dave.
You have to give them containment. I don't know if you need to give them soothing.
What they contain, or we contain for them?
We contain for them. That's what they want.
Right, because they can't contain, right? So
the issue is reality is flooding them. They can't. They need help blocking reality or filtering it. So we help them filter reality. That doesn't require comfort. It can include some of it. If we do this, now we're valuable. Because then they can drop this defense. As long as they're.
So you're trying to, what we're trying to do is keep a constant state of
consistency.
Love bombing,
yes.
Consistent state of love bombing. Well, no, a consistent state of favorite person.
Of containment, which can be favorite person or love bombing, but I don't think it has to be.
Or do you take another angle? The reason they hang around the narcissist is because there is nothing there.
Emptiness.
Take that angle.
Space.
Yeah. Provide an empty vessel for them to fill. That would be harder.
Well, if you can circular and send to the ground, then you're an empty vessel also.
Yeah, just a conduit for it.
I haven't linked it yet, but there's 3 steps of good mothering. which Winnicott originally pointed out to. So that's being a buffer for reality and slowly pushing them out of the nest into reality and helping them interpret. And that's the lagging skill they have. So ultimately, then they can.
But we're not going to teach them
their own
that.
self.
That ship has sailed, isn't it?
Why not? I don't.
Well, I guess this is what the way Dr. Fox, from wherever he's from, this is his angle too, isn't it? Because that's why he talks to them, you know, like a 5-year-old.
Same age, and then always giving them hope. So he's pre-opting their defense of blocking reality by giving them hope constantly. That's his version of positive spin. But the positive spin has a direction of working on themselves.
But that gives them containment as well. It's quite clever.
But I don't think you need the super sugary side, the love bombing. But maybe
no, it needs to be a little bit more realistic. Although the love bombing is very young.
Yeah.
Yeah, love bombing is meeting 4-year-old meeting 4-year-old. It's a peer orientation. So maybe there could be a parent-child orientation. Or uncle.
Yeah, you have to be the parent. Yeah, I mean, because if you think about it, if this is a child having a tantrum, the parent's able to soothe the child. So you'd have to look at it that you'd have to almost take that role.
Well, they're already sort of projecting it. So with the merging into the other, that's projecting you as the mother, you as the source of food, you as the nipple, you as all the food, as a baby to mother. That's their full life force, the mother. So they put you in that role. If you reject the role and you don't fit the role, then they try to force you into the role. Anyways, so might also play the role. And then somehow,
I was going to say, yeah, you just submit to it. Well, not submit, you take it on, and that's how you get what you want.
Well,
that's
you take it on, but now you have an in. It's an in you already have, but we're not taking advantage of it.
But this is a high price. This is a high price and very dangerous.
Well, it's already dangerous. So.
Even more dangerous. I mean, Chernobyl dangerous. So,
that's on the surface. That's the theory. It feels like it's dangerous, but it might actually be what works. Faster and efficient.
Short term. I'm not sure you get a long term out of this.
The circuitry's already there. They're projecting their self onto you. They've given you all the power. We just don't know how to use it. There's probably too much power. That's why it's...
Well, it's ultimate power.
Yes, see? They're treating us like a god.
Yeah. So what happens if we act like one?
That might... if we act like one and then the right something, the right format, structure, delivery, tone, that might be the key. You sort of said be a narcissist, but maybe, yeah, it's be a god.
Well, yeah, I mean, the way I've dealt with my mother in the past is to treat her like a naughty little girl. She quite likes that. She might initially get upset about it, but when I say to her, oh, what would your father think? And, you know, all that sort of stuff, talking to her like she's 5 years old actually does work. She's 80.
Yeah, I could see doing... If I were capable, which I'm not, of doing that with my ex-wife, then I think she really wanted me to play a role.
Angry daddy?
Yeah, she really did.
So what's missing is the parent, right? And I think shaming them, I don't like to use those words, but that works on my mother. Shut her up like a book. What would your father say about your behavior? Stuff
Well,
like that.
That was the only way.
Scolding.
That was the only way she could motivate herself, was through shame. To get herself to do anything was to shame herself, and she really wanted me to shame her in the same way that I felt she abused herself, and I couldn't do that. I found it all fucked up, and I couldn't play that.
Oh, it is.
Game.
That's because it is. Yeah, completely.
Well, no, it's not.
I mean,
fucked up.
we're not saying this isn't fucked up. What we're saying, this is offensive.
Yeah.
It's offensive to codependents, but to them it gets them started.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to her, it was her. That was her world.
It's a way of giving them a childlike boundary that they never had.
See? Child needs more energetic, raw energy boundaries. Except they only do it at the child level.
Mm-hmm.
Us as a god could do it graduated. So we do it, match them first, and then we can slowly scale back. And they follow along.
Jeez, this is some heavy lifting, mate. I don't know. I don't know if I've got this in me at the moment, but I think the theory is
lifting.
excellent.
See, we're mentally trying to mentalize it. But if all we're doing, like Kurt's saying, is copy their internal shaming and just do what they say to themselves, that's easy energy-wise. And then all you have to do is just monitor, scale back. This is pure role play, or just spirit. We're getting into a certain spirit, filling that role, and just the words and the model and the structure comes out of the spirit, out of the essence, the non-verbal, pre-verbal, the energy. Maybe we're even channeling an archetype of father figure or a scolding parent or something.
So maybe for us, it's having to step into this very uncomfortable place. Maybe that's codependence blind spot.
What only seems uncomfortable, because no one's presented this. It's not even stepping into it, because if they've merged with us as other and God, they've already telegraphed a role for us. They already are sending out a signal. This is what I want. This is what I want. This is what I want people to do.
Well, arguably,
all we have to do is just translate that signal, and it contains them. It wakes them up. You only have to do it every now and then, and it's just simple. It's just like it's their triggers.
Yeah.
We have to figure out the borderline's triggers, which is more energy focused, but it could just be scripted also. And that regulates them instead of teaching them DBT skills to police themselves and all these complicated layers to try to create stability. If you become the bad parent figure or the shaming parent figure, that wakes them up, maybe. In a sense, yeah. The BPD twisted language person, when she's tongue-jutting and bragging about conning her boyfriend or making her boyfriend wrong, she would be embarrassed to do that in front of a parent figure. She's bragging to a fellow peer, other kids, but she wouldn't brag to a parent figure. Look, I conned my brother. I conned this person. Look, I overpowered him and tricked him. There's something almost visceral in your body. You wouldn't brag about that. Yeah, but what if it's that simple that if you become the scolding parent, but the higher road scolding parent, that you slowly activate their inner parent? Somehow that never got turned on.
I'm sure it's a matter of knowing the right phrase, which is slightly different for every BPD and slightly different for, just ever so slightly different. If you could magically know just the right
Well, it's you could do
Frequency.
a sort of trial, and you could do a trial run because it's always going to be mum or dad, right? So we've narrowed it down to one of two parents or both, and then it'll be shame, and then it will be
Do better.
boundaries. So you just sort of concoct it around that, and you probably have to throw a few out there till you hit pay dirt. I knew my mother was enamored with my grandfather. My grandmother was the problem. So what she wanted was my grandfather to rescue her. So there you go. He would be ashamed of you. Oh, can't believe you said that. Yeah, I did.
And that's redirecting. So they're worried about rejection and connection and belonging. Now they can
Well, then that's the
redirect
conduit,
it
isn't
to
it?
embarrassment from
Yeah.
their parent. They're redirecting their terror of abandonment to judgment of their God figure, of their parent, their prize parent figure. Terror of abandonment to judgment of their God figure, of their parent, their prize parent figure. Terror of abandonment to judgment of their God figure, of their parent, their prize parent figure.